When I started my indefinitely long travel 2.5 years ago, I packed very minimally, as I had to squeeze in my best belongings into just one suitcase and a day pack. Since then, my possessions have grown, not a big time, but quite a bit, but I still value some of my trusted companions that have been with me for so many years and have never let me down. Today I will show you them, things that have traveled with me across 6 countries: Russia, Serbia, Albania, Montenegro, Romania, and the Republic of Georgia, and tell you why I'm still keeping and, most importantly, using them for at least 5 years, but often it's even more than that. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Anna, and this channel is about the gentle philosophy of finding and nourishing your true self through meaningful ideas, relationships, and things. And if you are already a friend of the channel, I'm so glad to have your company again. This nail care kit was a gift from an estranged friend, and surprisingly it has become one of the best things that I've owned for about 15 years by now. I do my pedicure and manicure by myself at home, and that's why this is being used a lot. Although I had to replace clippers recently, but all the rest of the tools are just fine. Also, the scissors from here are a multi-purpose tool for me. I find them super handy for cutting out smaller elements for paper collages. There are things that you can buy or get only once and then keep them for the rest of your life, of course with a little bit of necessary maintenance, and this is one of such things. I have featured this item in quite a few of my previous videos, and I still love showing it and praising it. It's very thin, light and packable yoga mat made of natural rubber, I guess. It has lost a bit of its grip around the edges, but I think I can somehow fix it. Brian gifted me this yoga mat about even more than 7 years ago, and since then I have been using it almost daily. And out of pure interest, let's just calculate how many days it has been in use. Even if we presuppose that it stayed idle for about 15% of the time, it still happens that I've been using this for about 2,000 days, which means 2,000 times. And yeah, I think when I decided to replace this, I will get exactly the same thin, packable travel version. And it's not an advertisement. My video is not sponsored by this company, but I think it's just worth the money. And yeah, just love it and have been using it and will be using it. I just have to find a way to restore the grip. I am a maker, and of course I have quite a few instruments for making stuff, but these crochet hooks are the oldest. They used to belong to my mother, and she had them since the Soviet times, and it's the exact hooks that I used when I was very little. I think I was about 6 or 7 when I did my first attempts to crochet. They are still in great shape, and I don't think that there is any need to replace these instruments. Of course, they're not fancy, they don't have ergonomic handles or grip or whatever, but I just love the way they are. Every time I use them, it feels very special to me. I don't have a lot of sentimental items, honestly, but these are one of the best because they, beyond having very nostalgic, I don't know, heartwarming meanings, they are super practical, and it's just the best combination. Interestingly, I bought this small knife more than 9 years ago when I first visited Tbilisi, where we are living now at the moment. I bought it on a flea market, and right now, unfortunately, I cannot carry it with me, because before I used to carry it in my handbag, because here in the Republic of Georgia, it's currently illegal to carry any knives with you, but it's fine. A year ago, almost a year ago, when Brian and I were coming back here to the Republic of Georgia from Serbia, we had a long flight with a long layover in Istanbul, and I realized after we arrived at our destination point that I've been carrying this knife in my handbag all the time. It's just so tiny that I overlooked it, I lost it in my bag, and I forgot to put it in the check-in luggage. So all the time it was with me, and even the security didn't notice it. And of course, when I found it on the morning of our arrival, I was horrified. So yeah, it's so tiny and so inconspicuous and very, very practical. And I am looking forward to being able to carry it again someday. I don't know when we are living somewhere else, because it's very handy and it gives me a tiny but still comforting feeling of security. The next thing is not just one thing, but a group of items, which is jewelry. I enjoy wearing all types of earrings and necklaces and rings. Some of them are rather new, but some are quite old, and I've been wearing them every day. So such as this, which is the wedding ring, and I also have this small ring. It doesn't hold any special meaning, but I've been wearing it every day for almost 10 years. Most of my items are just simple silver, and I very much enjoy this metal. And this ring used to belong to my mother. It's mother of pearl, and this very ring was a gift from Brian's mom. I don't want to bore you by showing all my meaningful old jewelry, but again, these things will stay with me for the rest of my life, unless I lose them, of course. And this knowledge gives a really heartwarming, grounding feeling. After all, our personal history gets extended through the things that we own, and I think it's beautiful. I've been expecting this to die for years. It's my old, very outdated tablet that I've owned for more than 10 years. And I'm still using them for storing meaningful memories, which is of course not a very reliable way to store memories in something as outdated and old as this one. But I don't care, I rely on chance. And I also occasionally use it for typing thoughts and ideas, and I don't know, something that I feel like writing down, but I don't want to use my computer for that. Or if there is lack of light, I don't want to switch the light on in order to use the notebook and a pen. This tablet doesn't have any internet connection anymore because I don't want to connect it to the internet because it doesn't feel safe. That's why it's just an offline object, and whenever I think that some of my typed ideas typed in here are worth developing, I just retype them to my laptop and then elaborate them further on. Some people might say that it's not a practical or productive way of writing things down, but I don't care. I like my way of doing things, and I don't care about how fast or productive I can be. It's always so easy to replace an outdated piece of electronics with a new one, especially now that the gadget race is so crazy, but I have a different approach to owning things. This ebook was a gift from my brother, and on a funny note, he recently sent me another ebook as a gift, a more advanced one with Wi-Fi and reading apps and backlight and all those like new fancy things. But I'm still using the old ebook just when I want to have a different reading experience. And also I have such a huge library here, the books that I reread almost every year. I do enjoy having physical books, and I hope that I will collect my own library once again, but for now I think this is an awesome way of having a portable library. And as this ebook doesn't have any Wi-Fi connection, it doesn't work through apps, I actually own all the books that are here, and these books cannot be taken away from me. And let me tell you, coming from a country with pretty wild censorship at the moment, I very much appreciate having books here that can no longer be found in Russian e-libraries or Russian online stores, such as a book by Hanya Yanagihara, A Little Life, that is completely banned in Russia, but I have it here, and if you wonder why it was censored, you can look up the news online. It's easily searchable, but I don't want to mention it in the video. And take it as a good reminder that sometimes it's not that great to rely solely on borrowing services, especially when it comes to books, films, and music. Things that I've showed you today are very compact, practical, symbolic, and most importantly, meaningful to me personally. You can have a totally different set of meaningful belongings that you've been owning and using for years, and if you feel like it, I invite you to share some of your things down in the comments. Let's share some inspiration for intentional ownership and consumption. Thank you so much for your time and attention, dear friends, and as always, huge thanks to everyone who supports my work on Patreon and other tipping platforms, because it's only thanks to you that this channel exists and my voice is heard. So thank you so much, and for now, be safe and keep your heart open, and I will see you soon. Пока-пока.